this episode, this episode and its foreshadowing, it's just off the charts. Crazy, crazy, off the charts. I can't comprehend the amount of foreshadowing that we had in this episode, the amount of undertones that was given to us, the subtle hints beyond the surface of this episode. And one of them I will not talk about yet. Let's start off with Zenith, because that's the first thing. You can tell time has passed just by looking at Lucy's growth. You know, she has her hair, she has her cute little bow ties. Her image has been everywhere on social media with the fans saying it's just the cutest thing you've ever seen. It's so adorable and stuff. And Ruth is just happy and proud of it. Surprisingly, there are some men out there who keep their distance from their children when they're being raised. How could you? How could you, man? That's a shame right there. A big shame. But anyways, the thing I want to talk about is with Zenith. Zenith shows up and Lilia says that she was concerned for Lucy. And then she's staring deeply into Rudius, a very awkward stare, as if she's trying to communicate with Rudius. And then Lucy starts to cry. Turns out she needs to be fed. And she's wondering, did Zenith knew that Lucy needed to be fed? There's more to it, what's happening, but I won't go into spoilers. But it's a very interesting subject when it comes to Zenith. And a lot of people find her character to be very tragic in a way, despite the given situation. And also a surprise is we have members from Rudia's old party is in this episode. Susanne and, of course, Sarah. It's funny how this happened. It's like Susanne knew that Rudy was going to meet up with Sarah eventually in the picture, being a wet nurse. So many may be asking, why do they need a wet nurse when they have Aisha and they have Lilia? Well, believe it or not, Lilia is taking care of Zenith and housework, while Aisha is taking care of housework and the pets. And everyone else is out being busy, going to school or having a job. It's funny how they all go to the same place when you think about it. Rudius, Selphie, Roxy, and Norm, they all go to the same place. But mainly Norm lives at the dorms and stuff most majority of the times, mainly for her people skills. But anyways, that's why they need a wet nurse, is to help them with the baby when everyone else is so busy with everything else. But anyways, what furthermore is a very important mission happening, an escort mission with Princess Ariel and a companion of hers, and they need to be guarded by Rudius, Roxy, and of course an Amazon party. And that who's on the Amazon party is Sarah. And boy, the awkwardness in this situation. And notice how awkward things ended with them. Of course, Rudius will try his best to avoid it because he doesn't know how to confront it. How do you confront something like that in that situation? And that's completely understandable. But however, I was seeing some chicks online saying, oh, he's being rude. Why he's ignoring her and stuff like that. It's just messed up. Then I said, what if this was the other way around? What if the guy has something to say in an awkward ending to a relationship? Most of y'all be saying, oh, leave her alone, because you see she's going to be bothered and stuff. Because you got to stop this hypocrisy here. You know, it's so hypocritical. It's so double standard. And believe it or not, when I said that, they actually agreed. You know, you make some sense. You know, you gotta understand his situation and thing. If you understand a girl's situation of not wanting to be bothered when of meeting up with old people that they had a very rough, unpatched relationship, clearly you can understand for a guy to feel the same way too. Let's not be double standard here. Let's not be hypocritical here, okay? Let's get that straight. So we actually had a reasonable conversation about that. So I'm glad I was able to sell that up and stuff. Like, see it through his perspective for crying out loud. Even though that's what the show literally does. But funny enough, Ariel pushes it onto him, and so does Selphie. Selphie, in my opinion, is the star of the episode by looks. She had looks. She had the look where she's like, she knows what's going on. She knows how to sell it. Even she says, "Don't Rudius won't run away." And she has that just look at him, like, dang. This is what makes Selfie my personal favorite out of the three. You know, she is the truly mature one, and she knows how to understand the situation and also um, handle and understand Rudius the most, believe it or not. You know, Roxy, despite being the oldest, has a lot of growing up to do because she's in a way like Rudius from that world. She doesn't know how to confront people or confrontation, and she's very insecure despite her achievements. Now, that being said, we finally have the awkward moments with Sarah and Rudius. They clear things up, they patch things up, and they talked about it. They talked about what they've been going through in life, what's been happening, where are they at now, finding out that she was a bit upset that she couldn't be the one for Rudius, but understood the reason why. And this is where we got into the interesting talk of who attracts Rudius the most. Now, if Rudius just really let loose and locked in, as some say, he could have had 6 or 7 wives if he wanted to. But the ones he truly cares about and falls in love with are women who are there to save him. You see, in this world, Rudius is a very dependable person who can do a lot and achieve a lot. And because of that, a lot of people rely on Rudius. But how many people can Rudius always rely on for stuff to save him in his darkest moments? You know, when he had his ED, it was Selfie who worked hard to recover his ED. When he lost Paul and the condition of his mother, it was Roxy. So they all realized this, of course, Selfie and Roxy, that Rudius truly find women that are special to him or women who can save him from his despair. So they're wondering what other girls out there who have that capability. Even though Rudy is lying through his teeth saying, "Don't worry, I won't marry any other women." You said that last time when it was just Selfie, remember? You said that last time. And look what happened. So Selfie knew that was a lie. And people are all, bagging on Selfie in the comments saying, how can she put up with this? And the thing that people don't understand is that we view things, everything through our culture and our upbringing and our point perspective. That we refuse to understand someone else's culture or upbringing. It makes us ignorant in a kind of way. The culture that Selfie and them grew up in is completely different from ours. Their mindset is completely different. And plus, when it comes to our culture in the West, mainly with America, we're constantly changing what's right and wrong all the time. We have realized every generation we end up changing what's right and wrong. For 10 years from now, or even 20 years from now, people are going to look back on the stuff we're doing right now. And I bet some of the stuff that we're okay with right now, they're going to find as messed up. Because we're constantly contradicting ourselves through our own culture. We're always doing this. You haven't realized that. Most cultures around the world stay the same. They have the same viewpoints, the same mindset, the same everything. Except for us. We're always changing constantly. Changing our outlooks, changing our opinions, changing how we do things, whether it's for the better or for the worse. But in these kind of cultures, it takes a while for them to change, to really get their mind outside of other things. In their viewpoint, a guy marrying different wives, especially if he has good wealth, is the norm. Someone like Paul, who was a noble, would have probably a couple wives and a couple mistresses. Rudius, being from that bloodline himself, Selfie understood the situation and decided to put up with it anyways. Back then, people with marriages put up with a lot of stuff that each partner did, and they did not just for love, but for the sake of endurance as well. But now that we have a life of convenience, we don't see any value in that, and we just give up on it. So that's just how it is. Depends on the culture, and of course the time that you live in. So Rudy, once again, Selfie says something else, and she says she doesn't mind him finding another woman, but he has to bring it up to them first. and she will not accept you springing up one on them out of nowhere and having an illegitimate child. She said there's only so much she can take. It's like, dang. So, meaning no cheating by surprise. You have to confront it with her, and she will make a decision whether she will accept the person or not. She won't accept no one who doesn't truly love him or anything like that, or someone that will bring up an agility. Sophie will not accept bastards in this house. Damn. When you think about it, Sophie ended up saying, "No bastards." No bastards. Damn. like I said, man, Sophie knows how to be scary in her own way by being kind and in how she says it. You have to look into what she says. And when you do understand it, it comes off kind of, dang girl. And then she says, well, let's look forward to the next girl you may choose. And then it really clips on to Eris. Because we all know Eris is the next girl. And she just passed the rank of Sword King and stuff after beating Nina and everything in one strike. I like how they didn't drag on the fight like most shonen like to do. They did how what real sword fights really happen. When you get the first swing in, that's it. Most of the time, these sword fights don't last that long. If you actually see an actual sword fight, especially in kendo and stuff, most of these sword fights last like a minute or two at most, and then they go on to the next round. So it's her speech when it comes to resolve, what it takes to become Sword King is her resolve to doing what she needs to do is to get stronger and to face her fears as well. She doesn't care if she even has the title of Sword King. All she cares about is getting strong for the sake of the people she loves. So therefore, she had her resolve. And of course, Gaul found that very amusing and wanted her to pass. So as you can see, Galfurian has high expectations for Eris, as much as he does his own daughter, but he knows the daughter needs some growing up to do in order to do it. So, you have Sword Saint, you have Sword King, then you have Sword Emperor, then finally Sword God. In order to get Sword God, you just have to beat the Sword God himself. That's the only way to get it. No title, no test. You have to beat him, and that is it. So, there goes that. So, that's all around nice episode. I enjoy it. Will we see Eris again? Probably not for a little while. It's going to take a while. As I recall, when reading the books, it'll probably have some snippets of her here and there doing some adventuring, but that's it. But it's a build-up. It's a build-up saying when is she going to see Rudius. And when it comes to the foreshadowing, Rudius says that he only falls in love with women that are there to save him. So the question is, what is Eris going to do to save him? We'll have to wait and see. But oh boy, when it happens, it's going to be a lot of people's favorite moment. Now, I can already tell, because it was one of my favorite moments. So I look forward to it. So anyways, I think I'll end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has the Madcrownxox on Anime. Signing out.